Okay, so the last thing I wanted to do in this series is place some trees onto our beautiful randomly generated terrain with pumpkins and hills. And actually we're going to do it very similarly to the way we just placed the pumpkins. So, oh, and I want to update our list of awesome things you can do with this power tool, the cuboid function. What we just did was place random pumpkins on top of grass. Now we're going to place trees on top of grass. So every single thing we've done in this entire series has used the same cuboid function. We've just changed up what we do at each of the locations in between the start and the end of the cuboid. And we're able to do some really cool stuff with randomness and make a pretty fun terrain that's actually fairly large, 100 blocks by 100 blocks. I think this would be a really cool place to play like a death match against one of your friends or capture the flag or something like that. This would be a really fun terrain. And you could even do some other cool stuff along those lines. The last cool thing we're going to do is make some trees. So let's do that. Come back to my sponge corner. And what I'm going to do is take my code from before where we had it place a pumpkin. And now let's just have it build a tree. We'll replace this. Instead of pumpkin, let's do wood. I could make the trees be like of random height, but I kind of like, well, maybe we should do that. Should we have it be random? Yeah, let's do that. Let's have some randomly generated trees. So we'll place wood and go up and place more wood, but let's do that inside of a loop that will repeat. If we do it 10 times, that'll have it be 10 blocks high, but instead of being 10, let's actually pick a random integer. So instead of 10, we'll do somewhere between 5 and 15. So this will build a trunk, basically a place wood, and go up, and it'll do that maybe 5 times, maybe 15 times, maybe 10, maybe 12, maybe 9, anywhere between 5 and 15. So a tree with random height. But once we build the trunk, we want to go back down. No, we don't want to go back down. We want to have some trees, some leaves on the top of the tree. So let's have the drone place not wood, but leaves. Leaves. And we probably want to place a few leaves like to the sides and all around. Let's place leaves there, and then we'll go right and place some leaves, and then we'll go left twice and place some leaves. You know what might be interesting is if we just kind of have the drone move around randomly and place some leaves. I think that would be kind of cool. Let's try that. What kind of drone functions do we have? Yeah, let's do another loop. And we'll place some leaves inside this loop. And yeah, we'll have it do 7 to 15. So it'll place at least 7 leaf blocks, sometimes 15 leaf blocks. And instead of moving right, I want it to move in a random direction, so it just kind of like places leaves at random places, like it's scribbling some leaves. So instead of right, we want it to sometimes go right, sometimes left, sometimes forward, and sometimes backwards. And maybe sometimes up, but how about not down? Let's do that. What we need to do is pick another random number between 1 and 5, because there are 5 possible directions we might want to go. Up, left, right, forward, and backwards, not down. Then we'll have an if statement. We should call this something different since we already have a random number variable here. Let's call it randdir for random direction. Ah, that renamed my other one. That's annoying. Let's change that. Rand, and then new variable, randdir. There we go. So if the random direction number is a 1, if randdir equals 1, then we'll have it move right. If it equals 2, we'll have it move left. If it equals 3, we will have it move forward. This is going to make some pretty weird trees, but I'm pretty excited to see what they look like. And if it's a 4, we'll have it move backward. Oops, that's a 5. And if it is a 5, we'll have it move up. Cool. Now, there's one problem I just thought of as I was writing this, is that if we're doing all this crazy random stuff to the D drone, and the D drone is the one whose job it is to go through the entire cuboid and do stuff, then the D drone ends up in a weird place. So we need to figure out where it started so we can move it back after it builds the weird tree. And that is actually probably it's easiest just to make a new drone. Quickly make a new drone here to build the tree, and don't bother with the D drone. So let me make a new variable called tree drone, and that's going to be a new drone. So make a new tree drone, and the first thing we should do is move that tree drone to wherever D is. So I think we can do move tree drone. Move that tree drone to the location of D. And then we can do all of this tree building stuff, like the random trunk and the leaves and all this random direction stuff. All of that we're going to do with tree drone instead of D, so D never has to move, which is pretty cool. So just a reminder, D is the one that is going through the whole cuboid, and it does this function at every single place in the cuboid. And tree drone is just a quick temporary drone we make at every single place to build a weird random tree. Now I'm really excited to see what this weird random tree looks like, because it's going to have a trunk that has a random height, and it's going to have leaves that are just like kind of crazy. It's going to just like make between 7 and 15 leaves, and each time it makes a leaf, it's going to move in a random direction. So that could be pretty exciting and definitely look awesome. I hope. At least it'll look interesting and different from anything you'll see in Minecraft, because this is a different algorithm from what Minecraft actually uses. So, we've just loaded it, and let's run. Let's see what we get. Oh man, check that out. The trunks are pretty weird, I'll admit. We should probably use a different kind of wood for that, but they are pretty cool. Like, they look kind of alien. Look at that. Basically, it starts making leaves and then it just goes randomly in all sorts of directions. Those trees are a lot taller than I expected. I probably shouldn't have made them between 5 and 15. They should probably be shorter than that. And I might want to tweak the algorithm for making those leaves, because those are a little bit crazy. Actually, this one turned out pretty well, because this one started to kind of move in a random direction and kind of came back on itself as it was making leaves, so you ended up with a tree that looks a little more realistic. Let's try one more time and see if we can get it to be a little bit more realistic. So the first thing I'll try is, can I change the kind of wood? Can I use oak instead? No, we don't have oak. Got spruce wood stairs, that's not what I want either. Okay, let's not worry about the wood. Actually, the thing that annoys me most is that the trees are way too tall. So let's make them anywhere between 3 and 7. That'll be about half as high as before. The leaves are cool, but they kind of go all over the place a little too much. Maybe part of that is because they can't come back down. They'll always start to trend upwards. So let's go in one more direction. Let's have it, if it's a 6, then it'll come down. The drone that's moving randomly all over the place can come down. And I don't know if this will work, but I have this crazy feeling maybe we should have it make more leaves. So let's go from like 15 to 25. That's going to make a lot of leaves. That'll give it more chance to kind of like come back to where it started. Let's run that. So we made the trees shorter and more leaves, and we tweaked the leaf creation algorithm so that it can randomly come back down. It's going to be a little hard to tell. We'll see. Okay, run that. Let's see, do we get any better ones? Let's look at one of these shorter ones. So this one's shorter. It's okay. Actually, it's not that bad. I mean, it's still a kind of a weird alien tree, which was what I was going for. Actually, yeah, I like this. It does look like it's kind of clustered around the tree. It's just got a little bit of weird stuff going out there. This one's okay too. This one is this one's crazy. It started randomly creating leaves and then it went down into the ground, which I guess that's kind of interesting too. I like this one too. That's nifty. Yeah, so it looks pretty jungly. I'm actually pretty happy with that. I'm pretty happy with this randomly generated terrain now that I'm looking at it. It looks interesting, it's fun, it's alien, it's not like something you'd find in Minecraft. So that's pretty cool. And it's still navigatable. Like I can still walk around in it, and it's not like I have to jump to get over every single thing. That's one thing that can happen when you're making terrains and it gets too random and too crazy. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, it looks pretty fun from the air as well. Let's just do one more thing. By the way, you can see that this one is quite different from the last one that I made. I made this one that's kind of like a water land and very, very noisy, lots of stuff going on, hard to walk through. I like this one better. It's like a pumpkin forest with some cool trees and a few hills. Just as one last thing, I always like to see what happens if I put some crazy numbers in there. So let's just make tons of leaves. Let's start with 30 and go to 50. So it'll pick a random number between 30 and 50, tons of leaves, and we're going to make this might totally ruin the terrain, but if it does, we could always replace all the leaves with air and all the wood with air and get rid of the trees because we've done that before. But I just want to see what happens if we make it like totally jungly with lots and lots and lots of leaves. So start right here. And did I remember to press mod? I can't remember if I pressed mod. I think I didn't press mod because I don't see enough leaves. We got more trees, certainly more jungly, but I want to see tons and tons of leaves. Okay, it looks like it is loaded. It's building them in. It's hard to see. Oh yeah, so this forest is thick now. Yeah, this is awesome. I need to figure out how to change the wood. It looks kind of cool, but I'd prefer it to look like oak. That's okay for now. Yeah, this is awesome. So this is a lot of fun, actually. This is fun to walk around in. I like the way it feels. And like I've been saying in some of these videos so far is that it's really an art. It's not like there's a science to terrain generation. You have to put together a lot of tools, see how you like it, see if it feels fun to walk around in, and it definitely feels fun to me to walk around in this environment. So I'm really happy with the tools that we built so far. And so this will be the last lesson. I want you to put together something that builds some random trees. I'll let you use these numbers that I have right here. That will be the last lesson in the terrain generation, so you'll end up with having gotten a lot of practice with this really, really powerful tool, this cuboid function, this ability to do stuff to every block inside of a region in Minecraft. You can fill that area up, you can clear it again, you can pepper it with some random blocks here and there. Then you can take all of those grass blocks and widen them out so you make the bases of hills. Then you can raise them up into actual hills. Then you can replace all the dirt with grass or change all the dirt to diamond or change it back. All sorts of things you can do with converting one thing to another. And you can pepper the hills with pumpkins and make it so that they only appear on top of grass. And then you can do the same thing by peppering the terrain with a bunch of trees also on top of grass. So every single thing we did to create this entire complex random terrain we did with basically one function. We just changed what we did at each point inside the cuboid. And by building those tools up into more and more powerful tools and using them one after another, we created a pretty sweet random terrain that I am quite happy with.